Hello, it is I. Now this year there's quite a lot of racing games to get excited about, like the new Need for Speed game, Gran Turismo 7, Forza Horizon 5's expansion pack and Grid Legends. But one game I've looked forward to the most this year is of course Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, my favourite racing game franchise ever created. Now there are a lot of people who just don't get the hype, as they think Test Drive Unlimited is just another Forza Horizon copy. Well, I'm here to prove you wrong, as here are 10 reasons you should be excited for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Now before we get into this video, 4,000 likes is the target on this video. If you can hit that, then I'll do a backflip in front of your mum. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, Test Drive Unlimited games are usually set on islands. For example, TDU 1 was set in Oahu, Hawaii. I cannot say that word. And TDU 2 was set in Ibiza and featured Oahu as a second map. And of course, with both maps being at a 1-to-1 scale, they were absolutely enormous. It will take you multiple days to explore these maps. But weirdly, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is set in Hong Kong Island, which is considerably smaller than Ibiza and Oahu. Now, a lot of people would see this as a negative, and to be honest, I did as well. But let's not forget that the old Test Drive maps were insanely big, but not very dense. You could tell that the developers didn't have enough time to properly render the map, with most of the scenery being trees, with a very occasional building here and there. So with a smaller map, I reckon we'll definitely be seeing a lot more detail. But I personally don't think the map would be all that small, to be honest, as in some parts of the trailer you can see the cars driving on these bridges, which are identical to the bridges that branch out of Hong Kong Island, indicating that you could probably leave Hong Kong Island and visit the whole of Hong Kong. And also in the trailer you see a street sign with a plane, indicating that an airport is in the map. And if you know your airports, then you know that there is no airport on Hong Kong Island, but on Lantau Island instead, which is one of the surrounding islands in Hong Kong. So I reckon in Solar Crown we'll probably be seeing the whole of Hong Kong rather than just Hong Kong Island, which means the map would be twice the size of Ibiza. Very nice. Now, unlike most racing games where the buildings are just buildings, in the Test Drive franchise you can actually enter them, and they each serve a different purpose. For example, if you want to buy a car, you can either visit the dealership of said car company, or visit a used car dealership. If you want a house, visit the estate agency. If you want to change up the look of your character, visit the barbershop or cosmetic surgery. If you want to make some money, visit the casino or community center. And if you want your car cleaned, then you can visit the car wash. I can go on and on, but what I'm trying to say is that there's so many buildings you can enter, and I suspect that these buildings would all stay in Solar Crown, as everybody loved them so much. And there's even more good news as well, as it's confirmed that we'll be seeing even more enterable buildings in the next game, as Solar Crown would feature crazy nightclubs, and of course the Solar Hotel, which is shown in the trailer. So yeah, we know that the map is going to be pretty crazy, but what about the cars we'd be driving in? Well, let's talk about it. Oh, what other way to talk about the car list than mention all the cars that are confirmed to be in the next game? As in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, we'd be seeing the Bugatti Chiron, Lamborghini Diablo, Ferrari 488, Apollo IE, Aston Martin DB11, Range Rover Sport SVR, Lamborghini Huracan Performante, Porsche 918, Porsche Carrera GT, BMW i8, Koenigsegg Regera, Porsche Cayenne, Mercedes G-Wagon, Koenigsegg Regera, Porsche 911, Dodge Challenger Hellcat, and if you're talking about car manufacturers, Audi and Bentley will be seen in the game as well. So yep, a decent list of cars which is only going to grow bigger and bigger. I'm also suspecting that manufacturers like Jaguar, McLaren, and Lotus will make it into the franchise as well, but I don't suspect we'll be seeing many JDM cars in the franchise. I mean, maybe a GTR, the new Supra and the Honda NSX, but Test Drive Unlimited focuses more so on exotic cars. So if you're a JDM fanboy, then I'm sorry to break that news. And I also don't think we'll be seeing a lot of customization in the game either. I mean, in the trailer you do see a Range Rover Sport SVR clearly wrapped in chrome gold, but I don't think we'll be seeing body kits, wings, and certainly not interior customization. But not to worry, as where Test Drive Unlimited lacks in modifications, it certainly does not lack in features. Now, one thing Test Drive Unlimited games are renowned for are the features. I mean, Grand Theft Auto and Forza Horizon 5 get so much praise for having convertibles in the game, but Test Drive Unlimited have been doing it ever since 2006. On top of that, in Test Drive Unlimited games you can get chased by the police, become a police officer, use car washes, flash your headlights, wind down your windows, and even use indicators. Now, sure, indicators or blinkers are just flashing lights, which a lot of people don't care about, but to a lot of roleplays and cruisers, features like this mean the world to us. And from the trailer and interviews we've seen, it seems like all these features will be featured in Test Drive Solar Crown. So if you're a fan of quirky features and cruising in open world racing games, then Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown will definitely have you covered. Now, a brand new addition to Test Drive Unlimited 2, which was not seen in TDU 1, was of course the casino. As we saw an expansion DLC which takes you onto a remote island with, yep, you guessed it, a casino, where you can convert your money into chips and gamble. In fact, there were even slot machines where the main prize was an Audi R8 Spider, which can only be unlocked via this DLC, which was pretty interesting. Now you might be thinking a casino in a racing game is pretty extreme, and we probably won't be seeing that ever again. Ah, well, you are very wrong. As in Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran's trailer, we see many references to the casino, which confirms to us that we will be seeing the casino in the next game. Yep, I wasn't lying when I said Test Drive is unlike any other racing game. In fact, the new game is actually PEGI 18 rated, which pretty much means nothing in this day and age as parents are buying GTA for their 6-year-old children. Anyways, we've covered the map, the cars, the features, and the casino, but what's the point in all of that if the game doesn't have a good storyline? Now, the storyline in Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran seems to be completely different from the previous two games, as usually you do races, get better cars, and eventually win the Thayakaran Cup. But in TDU Thayakaran, it's all about Sharps versus Streets, who are two different car clubs, as the Sharps are meant to be sophisticated and sensible. They're subtle and classy with black luxurious cars, whereas the Streets don't want to blend in with the crowd. They don't care what people think of them. They mock the Sharps' traditional and conservative ways, and they care much more about the underground and extravagant street culture. Anyways, these two groups battle it out on the streets of Hong Kong to become the winner of Thayakaran, which is completely different to the usual storyline. And with Test Drive being Test Drive, I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of cheesy cutscenes as well, which I am all up for. I love them so much. So I'm really looking forward to the storyline and the sort of characters we'll be introduced to. Ah, speaking of which, now, of course, to have an interesting storyline, you'll need to have interesting characters. And if you're a TDU 2 fan, then here's some news which might perk up your ears, because we may be seeing characters from Test Drive Unlimited 2 make their way into Thayakaran. As in the trailer, you see what appears to be a female hand with a lot of bracelets on both arms. And in Test Drive Unlimited 2, you'll of course know Tess Wintry, who also happens to have quite a lot of bracelets on both arms. Now, I know this sounds like a bit of a stretch, but hear me out, as the other person in the trailer appears to be a male figure wearing a suit with black leather driving gloves, who drives a silver Aston Martin DB11. And in Test Drive Unlimited 2, you'll know about Andrew Sullivan, who wears a suit with black leather driving gloves and drives 3 silver Aston Martins. Now, you could say this is a coincidence, but I feel like this is more of a hint. So mark my words, I reckon we'll be seeing Tess and Andrew Sullivan make their way into Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran. Now, one thing I love about Test Drive Unlimited games is that it's not a racing game, it's more of a driving game. As in Test Drive Unlimited 2, you had missions where you had to deliver cars, transport hitchhikers, and even one where you had to follow a cheating girlfriend's car without her noticing. And from the looks of things, it seems like these challenges will be making a return into Thayakaran. As on the Test Drive Unlimited website, it mentions that your racing schedule will include meetings, transport missions, and even convoys. Exactly the type of missions you'd want to see in a driving game. Oh man, I cannot wait for this game to come out, it's gonna be beautiful. So I am really excited to try out these missions. It would be a really refreshing change from constantly racing like you do in most racing games. One pretty small thing that's not spoken about is the availability. As on the TDU website, it states that the game will be coming out this year September, which isn't that long away, especially knowing that TDU fans have been waiting 11 years for the sequel. But not only will this game be available soon, but it will also be available no matter what console you have. It's not like Gran Turismo, which is a PlayStation exclusive, or Forza, which is an Xbox and PC exclusive. Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran will be way more accessible, as you can not only play it on PlayStation and Xbox, but also on PC as it's available on Steam, and even the Nintendo Switch. Yep, this is the first ever Test Drive game that's been available on Nintendo consoles. So if you're constantly bored of playing Animal Crossings and you get jealous of people with Forza and Gran Turismo, then you are in luck as you can finally join the racing game Master Race. So yep, Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran will feature an incredibly large detailed map, buildings with interiors, a fantastic car list with incredible features, a casino, an interesting storyline, with the return of old characters, with fun challenges, and it will be available for a lot of people to play. And those are 10 reasons why you should be excited for Test Drive Unlimited Thayakaran. And that's the end of the video. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did not enjoy this video, that's a bit sad. If you want to see more videos like this one, then make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 250k, so help your boy out. Thank you very much, and I'll catch up with you guys very soon. Until next time, have a good one, guys. Stay safe, stay inside. Until next time, cheers.
My dinero's what I'm out to get. Sombrero, I get hat and then I'm out again. Got an A1 Chica with a drive like a 3 litre. That's what she needs D4, like the outfit.